school football playoff action on the Legacy Sports Network. Tonight from Reliance Stadium in Houston, Texas. It is a 5A Division II Region 3 championship between the 12-1 Manvel Mavericks and the undefeated 13-0 Katy Tigers. Hello everyone, Rich Kenmore, Andre Dolan. Great to have you with us tonight. Thanksgiving is in our rearview mirror. We have several things to be thankful for tonight. One, we're indoors here at Reliance Stadium. Roof closed, beautiful venue. Also two great teams tonight. And Ken, let's start first with Manvel. The Mavericks have quite a program they've established. They know, though, this late in the season, in this community, all roads lead through Katy.
Yeah, absolutely. Katy, the defending state champions out of 5A Division II. They have 7 state titles in their trophy case back off of I-10 here in the Houston area, but they're going up tonight against an upstart Manvel team, second year in 5A. They went to the state title game 2 years ago in 4A, but this will be their first Region 3 championship tonight.
Let's start first with the Katy Tigers. Their chase for 8 as far as state championships. They have so many weapons on this team, but Rodney Anderson is the bellwether.
Yeah, Rodney Anderson, he's the bell cow for this ball club, over 1,000 yards on the season, but it all starts up front with that offensive line. They set the tone for Katy. They're going to be huge here tonight.
As far as the Mavericks are concerned, they have a sophomore quarterback that is putting up eye-popping numbers.
No, De'Aaron King has been unbelievable. Over 5,000 yards of total offense, over 50 touchdowns on the season. Unbelievable numbers for the sophomore quarterback, but he's going to need some help from his offensive line here tonight. They're going to have to protect him against a Katy defense that's only giving up 6 points per game.
Yeah, stout Katy defense, 18 touchdowns the last 3 playoff games for King. Can't wait to see him go up against these Katy Tigers. And when our McDonald's pregame show continues, third member of our broadcast crew, Jay Darneal, will talk with the coaches, starting first with Katy's Gary Joseph.
McDonald's Dollar Menu just keeps getting better. Introducing the all-new mouth-watering grilled onion cheddar burger, topped with melty white cheddar and caramelized onions. Plus all your tasty favorites for just $1 each. Every day, as always, there's a lot to love for a little on McDonald's Dollar Menu.
Change is inevitable. Time waits for no one. And those who look only to their past are rarely ready for their future. Never underestimate our ability, because after all, we are Texans.
It's the season to choose at Massey Nissan. Get low Massey prices on the gift your whole family will love. Right now, save big. Pay 0% APR for 60 months on all 2014 Altimas. Plus, get $1,000 bonus cash. But you better hurry. Come to Massey Nissan on the Katy Freeway today. Massey Nissan with you.
Now joined by the head football coach of the Katy Tigers, Coach Gary Joseph. Coach, a tight ball game last week against a mobile quarterback, and a lot of people say that if you're going to beat the Katy Tigers, that's a big if, but if you are, that you need that. How does De'Aaron King kind of remind you of that Elkins quarterback, and what do you think he's going to do?
I'm sure he's going to try to do the same, and hopefully we'll do a better job of containment. You know, it's the improv plays that gets everybody fit. That's why Johnny Manziel's so good and things. And the King kid is probably a better passer, you know, overall than what the kid we faced last week. We understand his speed. We understand what kind of talent he has. You know, whether we contain or not remains to be seen, but our kids will be prepared for it.
Coach, talk about your quarterback, Garrett Doran. Came in later on in the season, only a sophomore, and he has just been absolutely outstanding for your ball club.
Well, you know, at this stage of the year, you're not a sophomore anymore. You know, most people's season's 10 games. You know, you're in week 4, so, you know, he's a junior and he's performing. You know, we expect him to perform. You know, nobody asks them what grade they are when they get on the football field. They're varsity football players competing for Katy.
Now, talk about your all-everything Texas A&M commit, Rodney Anderson. You really kind of find a way to get him on the field anywhere you can possibly, including punt return, Coach. Talk about him and how special and what he means to your ball club.
Well, you know, he's a great football player, and he adds to it. You know, we were able to survive when he missed 6 ball games, to survive ball games this year. And, you know, the Porter kid stepped up and things, but just having Rodney back adds an air of confidence to our football team. You know, they're confident, and he's a confident kid, and he can do a lot of things, like you said. He's a good football player, and he makes us better.
Coach, we appreciate the time here. Good luck in the ball game, and hopefully we'll see you in the state semifinals once again.
Well, thank you. I hope to be there.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Coach Kirk Martin of the Alvin Manvel Mavericks here on Fox Sports Southwest.
McDonald's Dollar Menu just keeps getting better. Introducing the all-new mouth-watering grilled onion cheddar burger, topped with melty white cheddar and caramelized onions. Plus all your tasty favorites for just $1 each. Every day, as always, there's a lot to love for a little on McDonald's Dollar Menu.
Jay Darnell back here for more of the pregame show brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it. We're now joined by the head football coach of the Manvel Mavericks, Coach Kirk Martin. Coach, first of all, I got to ask you, Hoka Hey, what exactly does that mean to you and to your ball club and the whole community?
Well, you know, it's our battle cry. We started it probably 6 years ago. It's taken fire. It means play unselfish. You know, when you've got a group of talented kids, you know, sometimes, you know, kids this day and age can be selfish, and if we can be unselfish, play unselfishly, you know, pair that with some pretty good talent, you know, execution, that kind of stuff, I think you can whip anybody.
Well, I think you have some pretty good talent, Coach, starting with your quarterback, your leader, the sophomore, De'Eric King. Talk about that kid and what he can do on the field.
De'Eric's a great kid. I mean, he's unbelievable. You know, got great feet, throws the football real well. You know, very studied, highly intelligent, just does a terrific job all the way around.
Let's talk a little X's and O's real quick about Katy. I'm sure you've done your research. You know they can run the ball pretty effectively. Do you plan on stacking the box and forcing them to throw the ball, or how did you prepare this week to defend that?
Well, you know, we're going to do what we do. You know, we're a 4-2-5, and you know, if we can't stop them with that, then we'll add somebody else in there. You know, so you know we've had several different things that we've got planned, but you know, the main thing is, you know, just be good tacklers. You know, come up, be aggressive. You know, force it, play the ball, you know, on their grass, not on ours. Let's not wait. Let's attack them, and be sure tacklers, and I think we'll be fine.
Now talk about the stadium itself, Reliant Stadium here. Terrific weather. It's cold outside. Of course, that doesn't matter with the roof here. But talk about the kids getting to play and the community getting to come out to a stadium like this.
You know, it's pretty awesome. 2 years ago, we played in Dallas Cowboy Stadium. You know, that was pretty neat. You know, this is right here in our backyard. You know, it's the first time we've got to play here, and we're excited about that. You know, our fans are unbelievable. I mean, they'll come out in droves. I know Katy's got a good following, but you'll see the Hoka Hey Nation tonight. It'll be unbelievable.
Coach, we appreciate the time here for the ball game, and good luck.
My pleasure. Thanks for all y'all do.
Thank you. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back on the McDonald's pregame show, I'm loving it. We will be joined in the booth by Brett and Ken here on Fox Sports Southwest.
McDonald's Dollar Menu just keeps getting better. Introducing the all-new mouth-watering grilled onion cheddar burger, topped with melty white cheddar and caramelized onions. Plus all your tasty favorites for just $1 each. Every day, as always, there's a lot to love for a little on McDonald's Dollar Menu.
At Neighbors Emergency Center, we don't just save lives, we save
mothers, sons,
best friends, little ones,
running partners,
wives.
daddies.
At Neighbors Emergency Center, you're not just a patient, you're a top priority. Neighbors Emergency Center. Care that counts, experience that matters.
The time
time is now for live video highlights of your school's march to excellence.
News sets up inside of the pitch. High fly to left. It's up, it's deep, and it's going to be gone!
Legacy Sports Network brings you high-quality HD video broadcasted by the best in the business.
Handoff, Adam Taylor lunges to the end zone, touchdown!
This is one of the most exciting things.
With all the runs, hits, scores, and more, we're building a legacy one game at a time.
I appreciate it, Gerald. You guys at Legacy do an unbelievable job.
Join us on pay-per-view or video live streaming your favorite high school and college athletics at LegacySportsNetwork.com.
Legacy Sports Network is going to be bringing this presentation to your home.
Title sponsor of our broadcast tonight, First Community Credit Union. Think first. It's a 5A Division II Region 3 championship game. The Manvel Mavericks in their blue unis ready to take on the 13-0 Katy Tigers here from Reliance Stadium.
Manvel in their deep steel blue, and dare we say Katy in their bloody red uniforms coming from the other side of the field as the captains will meet at midfield for the coin flip. And we have a great ball game here tonight. Our referee tonight will be Kim Gullickson. Umpire will be Linnell Johnson. The head linesman, Steve Prahota. The line judge, Chris Tibbetts. The back judge, Kevin Barnes. And the alternate will be Brandon Bullock. And we're here tonight, two great ball clubs. Katy 13-0, defending state champions. They've won 29 consecutive games. Their last loss, a 9-7 defeat in the third round, November 26th of 2011 to LaPorte. As for Manvel, they come in tonight 12-1 on the season. Last year, they got to the regional semifinals. They lost a one-point shootout at the Berry Center to Cypress Ranch, their first regional championship.
Of course, had they won that game, they were going to meet up with the Katy Tigers. Probably a game they were anxious to play last year. They get to do so this season. And as we look at our team comparison, this deep in the year with these two powerhouses, you're going to see some eye-popping numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at defensively for Katy, only 79 points allowed this season. That average is only 6.5 points per game. It's really going to be difficult for Manvel going up against this stout Katy defense, but they have a super quarterback, the sophomore De'Eric King. He's accounted for over 3,500 yards and 50 touchdowns combined through the air and on the ground here tonight, and he's going to have the football first.
You talked about those 79 points allowed as far as the Katy defense this year. It was a team that in the 10 regular season games gave up just 46. It wasn't until last week against Elkins when they allowed 26 points. First time they had given up more than 14 in any game this entire year.
Yeah, and that's something Coach Joseph was concerned about defensively, giving up those points last week. But look, when you still win by 30, I don't think he's going to sweat it too much, his team giving that up. But that's something that he had his defense focus on this week in practice. It gave them somewhat of a challenge going up against this tremendous Manvel team.
Gary Haynes and Reggie Hemphill, the two deep men. Mavericks will get the first football first. Manny Mendoza to kick off for the Tigers. And we're underway from Reliance Stadium. High, short kick taken at the 30. And up across the 40-yard line, returned by Jamon Manuel. Great field position for the Mavericks. They'll have the football first, and we'll see De'Aaron King right out of the gates.
Yeah, King, as you look at him, 2,472 yards. That's just through the air. 35 touchdown passes. His main guy on the outside, number 2, Gary Haynes, 812 yards, receiving 12 touchdowns. In the backfield, his running mate will be Jacoby Perro, but King himself is also the leading ground gainer with over 1,000 yards on the ground.
Been only one game all year. A running back has run for more than 100 yards. King has done it a couple of times, but he has been so very valuable and dangerous in these last 3 playoff games. He'll carry first, showing off that footwork. King tackled across midfield, and he was one step away from really breaking a big one. Pulled down by Travis Willock.
And we're now joined in live on Fox Sports Southwest.
Quick toss to Gary Haynes. Second play from scrimmage for the Manvel Mavericks, already in Katy territory at the Tigers 42.
Yeah, 10 yards on the first run by King, 7 yards on the pass play as they go up against this 3-4 Katy defense that's only given up 6.5 points per ball game this season.
Get a chance to look at the sophomore quarterback, De'Aaron King, and the handoff goes nowhere. Drop was Jacoby Perro by that stout Katy defense. Patty Fisher, the linebacker, involved in the stop.
Yeah, this is a Katy defense. As you look at the replay here, they only give up 90 yards per game on the ground. And you hear the Katy crowd in the background as they get ready for this big third down play.
It's a 3rd and 4, and the football's loose. King has to scramble, and his pass to Haynes goes for a loss as he's blown up in the backfield. Josh Blair with the stop.
That's one of the things the Mavericks are going to have to react to. The crowd noise inside of Reliance Stadium. It's going to be loud inside this facility tonight. This is their first time playing in Reliance Stadium.
On 4th and 10, Mavericks will have to give the football back. King sends one in the direction of Rodney Anderson. He called for the fair catch. He was blown up at the 15. So the Tigers were shaping up to have poor field position, but they'll get a few extra yards tacked on.
Well, a couple of mental errors early on for Manvel. The bad snap on the 3rd down play. Now they're going to have a personal foul on the punt. So instead of Katy starting inside their 20, they're going to add 15 yards to the end of this play.
Just underway tonight from Reliance Stadium in Houston.
Personal foul on National Reductus on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
That's our head referee, Kim Gullickson, marking off the 15-yard penalty. Katy will begin at the 30.
We talked about this Katy team having so many weapons, and Rodney Anderson, the Texas A&M commit, someone we focused on. They have a great 1-2 combination. Kyle Porter, a sophomore, gets a lot of carries, and Garrett Doran, a sophomore quarterback, will start first. A little flip. Kyle Porter with the carry. Porter able to get outside. 1st down and more as he carries for 13 yards on the first play from scrimmage. And there is that talented sophomore 1A tailback in Kyle Porter.
Well, Porter picked up the slack after Rodney Anderson went out with a mid-season foot injury. Porter was actually the leading ground gainer for the Tigers this season, 1,617 yards, and he picks up a 1st down on his first carry of the night.
Tigers scored 56 points last week in their playoff win against Elkins. And there is the dangerous Rodney Anderson. He averages almost 9.5 a carry. He runs for 8 on the first play from scrimmage. He gets a chance to carry the football.
Yeah, they're running behind a huge offensive line, and one of their big guys is down right now. That's big number 75, Logan Lister, as he will get looked at near midfield as we take a look at the Katy leaders on offense. Garrett Duran, the sophomore, 6 touchdown passes on the season. Rodney Anderson, 1,300 yards, 32 touchdowns. The tight end, Sloan Spiller, 4 times into the end zone this season.
How would you like to miss 5 games and score 32 touchdowns like Rodney Anderson?
He is a tremendous football player, and he will kill you in special teams They will line him up in the slot as a receiver, and they will also play him out of the backfield. And now you combine that with Porter as we see their offensive lineman lipping off the field, and that does not look good for Katy up front. But Rodney Anderson is one of the most dangerous players in Texas high school football.
Lister, the Rutgers commit, help to the sideline if they gain of 8. Rodney Anderson has the first down and more, blowing over a defender, and he steps out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. He popped Darius Hester and picked up a few more yards. Only the boundary helped the Mavericks on that tackle attempt.
Well, again, they go off the left side, picking up huge yardage. And Katy offensive attack already on the move.
So the Tigers on the march from the Mavericks' 35-yard line. Old-fashioned I formation. Rodney Anderson through a big hole. Rodney Anderson still on his feet inside the 20, picks up 16 yards.
Well, we talked about in the open, the offensive front of Katy. Look at that huge hole. The lead block by the fullback opens up a lane wide enough for me to still run through, Brad, as he gets it down inside the 20.
Well, you could see Kyle Williams, the sophomore fullback, out of that hole. And Rodney Anderson, with that head of steam, is a dangerous man to bring down. A couple of big gains on this drive. And the Tigers are inside the Mavericks red zone with a 1st and 10. Pitch sweep. Anderson with a cutback. And he's dropped inside the 15-yard line.
Best defensive play so far of the night for Manvel defensively. And Anderson still picks up 5 yards on the toss right.
Joey Mejia, the junior defensive end, with a stop. But it'll be 2nd and 5 for the Tigers. 13-0, 29 straight wins. Of course, last year they lost Adam Taylor more than 4,000 yards, 44 touchdowns on his way to Nebraska. Inside trap play for Kyle Williams, the fullback, stuck up, and the Mavericks with their best defensive play of the contest. And it was Will Lockett, a junior corner, who was first there on defense.
Also, Keyshawn King, the senior linebacker, he'll stand him up in the hole, and then he'll get a little help from his friends. So now a 3rd down situation for the Katy Tigers, and this is a big play for Manvel defensively. Try to hold Katy to 3.
Sophomore quarterback Duran has completed 63% of his passes. From a passing situation, he will give to Anderson. Anderson inside the 10. He'll have the 1st down. And he's dropped at the 5, and the Tigers' march continues. Keyshawn King with the stop along with Colin Scott, but it came well beyond the marker to gain.
Well, the big hit again by the fullback, 43, just enough on the linebacker to spring Anderson. He picks up 9, 1st and goal for the Tigers.
So Rodney Anderson with those 32 touchdowns despite missing 5 games. See if he gets a chance to add another and start the scoring tonight. He will carry. This will be easy. Rodney Anderson for the Katy touchdown. And the Tiger fans, plentiful in numbers as always, celebrate an opening score, and we'll see it again here on the replay.
This is just a straight dive, cut block by the fullback, and there's no one home for Manvel. Katy marches down 70 yards on their opening possession for a quick lead.
Manny Mendoza is 64 of 67 this year on extra points. He'll tack through another. Each team's had the football once. It's the Tigers leading 7-0 from Reliant Stadium.
See a Raising Cane's tailgate in your sights. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but you have it in you to tackle that tailgate. To devour enough fresh, never-ever frozen chicken fingers and cane sauce to make tailgate history. Show thirst who's boss with sweet tea and lemonade. Not by the cup, but by the jug. Because this is our house. And today, you eat with the best of them. Raising Cane's, one love. Official sponsor of all things that make game day delicious.
Mavericks to get the football back. It's Reggie Hemphill. Dangerous return man. Carries up near the 30, and the Mavericks will have it for the second time tonight.
And our starting lineup brought to you by Katy Hardware. As we look at the Mavericks offensively, De'Aaron King, the quarterback, he's going to be the main guy. You just saw Reggie Hemphill. Gary Haynes, number 2, the wideout. That's his big play receiver. He's going to need some protection up front from Long, Kupski, Burkhead, Tamaz, and Laster.
Built by Katy Hardware. So the Mavericks have the football. De'Aaron King, a low snap, able to hand off. Little spin move there for Clay. Waylon Clay, the junior, with a strong carry up near the 44-yard line.
And we'll take a look at the Katy defense, brought to you by Katy Hardware. They run with a 3-4 defensive alignment. We'll get it to you right after this play as Manvel goes hurry up.
Another low snap. King rolling to the short side, and his pass intended for Haynes incomplete.
And you look at the Katy defense, brought to you by Katy Hardware. Secondary, Willett, Stewart, Wilder, and Blair. The linebackers, Bloomstrom, Fisher, Ellis, Ebright. The big 3 up front, led by Tim Wilkerson, the nose guard, in the middle.
One man you don't see, Cy Slater. He's had 8 interceptions this year to touchdown. Not starting tonight. And a short carry for De'Aaron King, just shy of midfield. And it'll be second down. It'll be third down and long.
So now another big third down defensive play. Third down efficiency is going to be critical for Manvel tonight. They have to keep their offense on the field to allow their defense to get some rest.
So it's a 3rd and 6 for the sophomore quarterback. Transfer from Westbury Christian. Beat out 8 others this year to be the starting quarterback for this Mavericks program. Throw on left side. It'll be shy of the first down. Gary Haynes is dropped. Maybe a gain of 1 on the play, but another play made by Josh Blair from his corner position.
Yeah, Blair, a 5'7", 175 junior, comes up and makes the hit on Haynes. Has a little help as well from 27, Colin Wilder. So now another punting situation for the Mavs.
King's going to run it up the middle, and he's dropped shy of the first down marker. It was as if the Katy defense was expecting that. In Tim Wilkerson, the senior defensive end who's made so many plays this year, will force a turnover on downs back to the Tigers.
Well, Brett, I think it's a little early in the ball game to go with the fake punt at midfield, already down by 7. Now you allow Katy great field position. You have to have confidence in your defense to pin them back deep. You have to make the Tigers go 70 and 80 yards. You cannot give them a short field like they have right now.
Touchdown on their opening drive. Great field position here in their second is Kyle Porter running behind a big offensive line. Porter following his blockers for a pickup of 9. A sophomore who ran for 20 touchdowns this year. He started the season with a cast on his left hand, played through it, and he was really the featured back in those 5 games when Anderson wasn't able to play.
Yeah, he has been tremendous filling in for Anderson. But again, it really doesn't matter who they put at tailback. We've seen it year after year after year. It really starts up front with the big guys.
It's Porter again. Hit by King behind the line of scrimmage, and then 3 Mavericks hop on top. And it looked like Jordan Carmouche, the linebacker, another sophomore, who was able to get credit for the tackle after the stand-up from King.
See the guard and the tight end both pulling from left to right. Good job that time by the Mavericks, reading the play, flowing, and stopping him for no gain.
Good look at that defensive line for the Mavericks, ranked 6th in the state of Texas. The Katy Tigers are 3rd. Couple of heavyweights. The tradition of Katy against an upstart program in their second year at 5A here in Manvel. Whoa, that snap over the head of Doran. It's still loose, so the play evidently was blown dead.
Boy.
This is going against the Tigers, but it'll benefit Katy immensely.
5-yard penalty, replay, 3rd down.
That's Sloan Spiller, the tight end, and never will a penalty be as appreciated as much by Gary Joseph as this one.
Wow. And you see the guy in the secondary calling for the flag for Manvel. He probably wish he wouldn't have.
That was going to be a scoop and score when Doron couldn't pick it up about 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So it'll be 3rd and 9 from midfield. Little trap play for Porter. Thought he had the corner. He cut it up to the 45, but he'll be shy of the 1st down.
Now we'll see what Coach Gary Joseph decides to do here on 4th down. As we look at our keys to victory, brought to you by Massey Nissan. Drive better for less. The keys for the Katy Tigers here tonight: contain the quarterback, De'Aaron King. So far, they've done a great job. You've seen the two-headed monster at running back in Porter and Rodney Anderson, and the Katy experience has also played a factor here early on.
Rodney Anderson from the Wildcat. He's near the marker. We'll see if he got it. Maybe by half a yard. Last week, Anderson scored a big touchdown running that Wildcat. This is an important 1st down on a 4th down keeper.
Well, we've seen both teams go for it here early on 4th down. Manvel did not make it. Here, Katy out of the Wildcat. You see Porter as the lead blocker for Anderson. Picks it up by about half a yard. The Katy drive continues.
Pretty good surge at the end. You saw a lot of blue shirts around Anderson. Garrett Doron back in and under center. An offset I formation. Doron with the play fake, throwing downfield. And he hits the tight end Spiller at the 21. 15th grab this year for the big tight end, Sloan Spiller. And a strong throw from Doron across his body with the feet moving.
Well, Doron is a 63% passer on the season. Took the starting job from Kylie Huddleston, who won the state championship last year. But Doron, that tells you what type of player he is. 6 touchdowns, 1 pick on the season.
Little pitch to Anderson, running right. If he gets a block, he'll be trouble. He got the block, and he's down inside the 6, marked out at the 5. Even when, Ken, there doesn't look like there's that opening in that hole, Anderson, with that head of steam, has the ability to pick his spot.
He is so smooth, so sweet with the rock. Almost reminds you of an old school Gale Sayers, the way he just kind of slices and dices a defense.
Touchdown saving tackle by Deontay Anderson, their talented sophomore safety. But the Tigers have 1st and goal. The football marked at the 4.
For the kids, you may want to go Google Gale Sayers.
Look at the lead blockers there for Anderson. Stays on his feet and dropped at the goal line. It was Colin Scott, the middle linebacker, who saved a touchdown for now. Anderson lost his shoe, but he carries for 3 yards.
And Darius Hester also coming up to make a big hit to keep Anderson out of the end zone. As you mentioned, for now, it's going to be 2nd and goal just inside the 2 for Katy as they look to go up by 2 scores early in this one.
Talk about power football. Look at all 22 players bunched up in the middle of your screen. Porter will shuffle out in motion. Anderson will carry into the end zone. Touchdown, Katy Tigers. 2 drives, 2 TDs. It's 13-0 Katy.
Well, you see the strength, the power of this offensive front just blowing the Mavericks off the line of scrimmage. They haven't seen a team like this coming out of 22-5A where they were the district champs.
Manny Mendoza to add the extra points. It's true. Couple minutes plus remain in our 1st quarter from Reliance Stadium. The Tigers lead 14-0.
Best high school football teams in Texas collide inside AT&T Stadium, all vying to be crowned champion. Get your tickets now for the UIL State Championships presented by State Farm. Be a part of this Texas tradition. Log on to Ticketmaster.com.
Long live being comfortable in your own saddle. Long live being tough enough to handle anything. Introducing premium performance, advanced comfort, comfort cowboy cut jeans. 2 times longer lasting. And made to move with you. So you can move like a champion. New advanced comfort from Wrangler. Long live Cowboys.
Our spotlight shines on the best and brightest high school athletes and coaches the state of Texas has to offer. Get the latest highlights and exclusive features from across the state every week. High School Spotlight, Sundays and Mondays on Fox Sports Southwest.
Mendoza will angle the kickoff to Haynes from the 15. Nifty cutback, and Haynes drops shy of the 30. Our kickoff sponsor brought to you by Physicians ER, your emergency room close to home 24 hours a day. And if I was a sponsor in a football game with Katy, I would sponsor the kickoffs because they're a team that's going to be doing so 6, 7, 8 times a game, even against a very good team in the Manvel Mavericks.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of airtime, that's for sure. That last drive by Katy, 51 yards, took 3:44 off the clock. Rodney Anderson, his second touchdown of the night. Katy on top, 14-10.
And the opening handoff goes to Jacoby Perro. And thrown down behind the line of scrimmage again by Matt Leiter, the senior defensive end.
Again, Katy winning the battle up front. You see the defensive end just crash down. No one picks him up, blown assignment by the offensive line of Manvel.
Certainly this young sophomore has played far beyond his class level. Steps up for the deep ball into triple coverage. Able to make the completion. In stride, he hit Jamon Manuel. Just beginning to ask you, Ken, when this sophomore quarterback might look to go up top, and he wasted little time to the deep ball. What a catch.
Yeah, you have to loosen up this Katy defense, and he does it with a big-time throw and a big-time catch downfield by Manuel.
Jacoby Perro carries for a couple of yards as the Mavericks went up tempo. But it'll be 2nd and 9. They had 2 drives. They failed to put any points on the board. This becomes an important one. Pass play to Austin Alexis and dropped after a gain of 1. And Kemp, with a sophomore QB, no matter how good he has been, when you play a team like Katy and you fall behind 14-0, it has to put a little extra pressure on you in the offense.
Absolutely, and this is not a position that Manvel has seen themselves in often this season. Their only loss was early in the year to North Shore.
See if King tries to do something with his feet. He'll throw on the run. He completes a pass again to Sean Dykes, and he has the first down inside the 15. 15th grab for Sean Dykes, and a good throw moving from De'Aaron King.
Yeah, Dykes is a big play receiver. He averages 21 yards per catch. As we see the Mavs going hurry up once again.
Jet sweep. It's Gary Haynes. He'll pick up a few to the 10. By far the deepest penetration of the night for the Manvel Mavericks.
Take a look at the Manvel lineups once again. De'Aaron King, the quarterback, he's leading the show. Gary Haynes, the big play receiver. We saw him on the jet sweep just a moment ago.
It's Haynes in motion again. King has to run and just throws one away. He was being pressured by Patty Fisher, the linebacker.
All right, and we'll take a look at the keys to victory for Manvel, brought to you by Mossy Nissan. They have to protect the King, De'Aaron King. They also have to win the turnover battle. Katy has forced 27 turnovers on the season. You also, when you play the Katy Tigers, play the game, not the name. Don't get intimidated just because it's Katy. Play your game, try to stay in it.
We talked about those turnovers. This Katy secondary said 20 interceptions this year. Even without Cy Slater's 8, they're dangerous. So's De'Aaron King. Great coverage by the Katy defense. King was dropped by Fisher. He's a couple of yards shy of the first down.
Well, one thing that Manvel is going to have to do tonight, King is going to have some help. He cannot do it by himself against a defense like the Katy Tigers. This is a team
This is the end of the first quarter.
We'll talk about it more on the other side.
Yes, we will. Beautiful venue. Roof closed at Reliance. Good start for the Katy Tigers. They lead Manvel 14-0.
It's the season to choose at Massey Nissan. Get low Massey prices on the gift your whole family will love. Right now, save big. Pay 0% APR for 60 months on all 2014 Altimas. Plus, get $1,000 bonus cash. But you better hurry. Come to Massey Nissan on the Katy Freeway today.
Massey Nissan, that's you.
When you have a medical emergency, think Physicians ER. You will be seen by a board-certified doctor in less than 10 minutes, with immediate results on labs, x-rays, and CAT scans. For emergency care greater than urgent care, think Physicians ER. Accidents happen anytime, any place. When you need to be seen fast, visit Physicians ER. Visit physicianser.com for a location nearest you.
Well, the quarter break provided the Manvel Mavericks and their head coach Kirk Martin a chance to talk about this 4th down and 5 play. Down a couple of scores.
Oh,
it looked
boy.
like movement.
Mental error. You rarely see it from the Katy Tigers. Looks like it was the big nose guard jumping across.
Offside. Defense. Half the distance to the goal. Still 4th down.
Yeah, since it's inside the 20, it's only going to be half the distance. It may be close enough for a measurement after they mark it off.
We're joined by Fox Sports Southwest. The Katy Tigers, their first 2 drives, couple of touchdowns. The Mavericks, with their deepest penetration, facing a 4th and 1 with their outstanding sophomore quarterback, De'Aaron King, a man who's accounted for 18 touchdowns in the last 3 playoff games. More of a throw-first mobile quarterback. We'll see if he might run for a first down, but it looks like the Mavericks want to call timeout.
Manvel has taken its first timeout.
And why not, Ken? This becomes such a huge drive as we see King come to the sideline. The Mavericks have to find a way to get in the end zone or at least get points in this sequence.
Yeah, absolutely. They've really struggled the first couple of possessions. They had a punt on their first possession, had a turnover on downs near midfield on their second possession. Katy been able to drive 70 yards, 51 yards. A pair of touchdowns by Rodney Anderson has them up by 14 points. Manvel, a critical 4th down here to try to stay in this ball game early.
As you see the Katy defense come off the field and take a knee, it was the team that gave up 26 points last week against Elkins. Now, they still won the game by 30, but it had been a long time since Katy gave up 26 points. We're going to send things downstairs to our sideline reporter, Jay Darneal.
That was a great pickup.
Hey, guys, the reason it was not a first down is because it was half the distance to the goal and not a full 5-yard penalty. Therefore, it's going to be 4th and less than 1 instead of that critical first down.
Indeed, so that's why the Mavericks burned the timeout. And talking about this Katy defense and how even though that mistake did necessitate an automatic first down, before that game last week, they had given up just 6 offensive touchdowns all season in 12 games. So this emphasizes the importance of the Mavericks being able to find the end zone.
This is a critical point in the ball game early on, even though we're early in the second period. And that penalty was huge against Katy as well, because now it makes it a more manageable 4th down situation for De'Aaron King, who's picked up over 1,000 yards running the football this season.
And the Mavericks will really spread things out, take advantage of the full field. King on the move. He'll have the first down. He'll have the touchdown. Head over heels into the end zone. Touchdown Mavericks. And the young sophomore, after making so many plays in the last 3 weeks, just made an electrifying run and watched the finish at the goal line.
The option right, they went with the pitch guy and he somersaults into the end zone. Great move by King. The young sophomore gets his Mavs on the scoreboard.
Mavericks needed that score. Now Julius Montana, the junior, on to try and add the extra points. Nearly blocked, but he punches one through the uprights. And we've got a game. Just a minute into our second quarter. It's now a 14 8-7 contest. Katy with the lead, but the Mavericks have regained some momentum.
Well, that was a big-time drive by King. 71-yard drive, led his team downfield. He had the big pass play in that drive, the 4th down conversion, the huge middle penalty against Katy, jumping offside to turn a 4th and 5 into a 4th and 1. And now the Mavericks back in this ball game. Now, defensively, we have to see what adjustments they make against a Katy offense that's dominated the first half.
It's been tough stopping Rodney Anderson, our 2 feature players. Anderson, the Texas A&M commit, has been outstanding for the Tigers, and King provides the touchdown for the Mavericks. How good has King been? Well, last week he ran for 4 touchdowns. He passed for 2. The previous game, he ran for 298 yards and 3 scores, while passing for nearly 200 and throwing for 4. Eye-popping numbers for the sophomore.
Yeah, he is a tremendous athlete. And as we talked about in the open, he's going to have some help tonight. He's gotten it so far, particularly on that last drive. We take a look at some of the numbers so far through the night. Total yards, Katy 126, Manvel with 98. Katy 9 first downs, Manvel with 5 so far. 11:56 to go here in the second period.
Kyle Porter, Giovanni Stewart, the 2 deep men for the Tigers at their own 5, awaiting this kickoff from Montana. Talk about a run-up. He's got a good 15-yard advance to this football. And it's a good, strong kick that'll be taken from the 3 by Stewart. Stewart stays on his feet at the 20. Giovanni Stewart competing for yards, and he's dropped at the 23. We got to see this one again. What a great effort.
He's going to take a big hit near the 20-yard line, but he's just going to bounce off. Defender did not wrap up. That was a Hassan Glasgow. Put a shoulder into him, but you got to wrap up, big fella.
We have an injury timeout on the field before the Tigers can come out for their 3rd offensive sequence. You see number 12 in the middle of that huddle, Garrett Doran, a sophomore quarterback who has taken over for Kylie Huddleston, who last year led his team to a 16-0 record, played and won the championship game on a broken ankle, and yet Doran has continued to add to this efficiency for this Katy team that has now won 29 straight games.
Bro, that tells you something about Coach Gary Joseph. It's all about performance, not what you did last year. It's about what you're doing this year. And Doran has been the most efficient of the 2 quarterbacks so far here in 2013.
Wyatt Schroeder, senior linebacker, will be assisted towards the sideline. Already Katy had their talented D1 lineman Logan Lister helped off the field on the first drive of the game.
And you talk about how difficult for a coach to go away from your senior quarterback who led you to a championship to turn to a sophomore. But those are the decisions that good coaches make in situations like this. It's not about me, it's about the team.
This impressive offensive line, their efficiency, their execution, this 2-headed monster at running back of Anderson and Porter. You can't help but be impressed when you watch the Tigers, and it's Anderson who's back in now as the tailback, and he will carry. Rodney Anderson squirts through a hole. Didn't look like he had a big opening, and he still rumbles for 11.5, 12 yards.
Rodney Anderson goes 6 feet, 200 pounds, and you have to wrap up those big thighs of his to get him to the ground. Arm tackles around the ankles are not going to get it done against Rodney Anderson.
Before the season started, Anderson, you can tell he's a composed young man, talked about the responsibility of being the #1 tailback for this Katy Tiger team after what Adam Taylor did last year. Anderson runs into a wall there and not much available. Hit and dropped across the 36.
Well, Brett, I had the pleasure of seeing him as a freshman a couple of years ago, and he just came onto the scene and he was running through seniors and juniors like he had been there for 4 years. Now you see him 2 years later, his body is starting to develop, his mind is starting to develop. He's not taking those big shots from linebackers and defensive ends like he did as a youngster.
He'll carry again on 2nd and 8. trying to get outside. And he's dropped. It was an open field tackle by Deontay Anderson, the talented safety again, but it was Rodney Anderson who's going to pick up the first down by maybe half a yard.
Katy, they bring a lot of their tackles, their guards, their tight ends. They pull them a lot. They run a lot of counter action, a lot of delayed action to let those linemen get in front of the tailbacks, and that's something that Manvel is going to have to adjust to.
Well, they do love the counter, and they do block extremely well. And Rodney Anderson with a pickup of 8 moves the sticks again.
Just wait till they pull it and go up top.
Play fake. Duran being chased. Duran being dropped. Nowhere to go, and the man who came up to make the sack was Shane Jackson.
Shane Jackson, the outside linebacker, comes untouched, and Duran never had a chance. They tried to go with the play action pass, but no one picked up Jackson. He makes a big defensive play for Manvel. It's going to be 2nd and long for Katy.
Shane Jackson with that sack to keep the Tigers offense out of schedule. 2nd and 19 as we're joined by Fox Sports Southwest. The Mavericks scored in their last possession to make this a 14-7 game. Tigers facing a 2nd long. Setting up the play for Sloan Spiller, the tight end, rumbling up across the 40 and hit hard and knocked it out of bounds at about the 42. And it was Will Lockett, the junior corner, making a play. It'll be 3rd and long for Katy.
Spiller is one of the big-time receivers on this team for Katy. You see just a little throwback. They had 3 blockers in front. He took a big hit as he crossed the 40-yard line. So now a big defensive play for the Manvel Mavericks. 3rd and 11. They need to get off the field, get the football back in the hands of De'Aaron King.
Let's see if the Tigers go to the air. 2 weeks ago, they threw for 16 yards in the game. It was a cold, windy day. Last week against Elkins, Duran, the sophomore, went 10 of 13 for 160. And that play blown up. Movement against the Tigers.
False start. Katy. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Well, on a weekend of so much terrible weather around the state of Texas and games being canceled and pushed back to Monday, we're grateful to be indoors here at Reliant Stadium tonight for 2 great programs. The Tigers have been around forever. They're chasing 8 state championships against this upstart Manvel team that's been fantastic in recent years. 3rd down, 16 to go. So the task becomes a little more difficult. Duran back, throwing downfield. The pass is caught by Adi, and he's right at the marker. In fact, he should have it. They needed 16. I believe they picked up 18.
Well, Odie down here at the bottom of the screen. He just runs a little dig route, gets the necessary yardage. The cornerback playing too far off, gives up a big gain for a 1st down. You can't give up that much cushion on a 3rd and long.
16th catch of the season for the senior, and a big one indeed. It moves the sticks and gets Katy back in a position where they can go to the ground. And Rodney Anderson bounces off the first wave of tacklers and finally flipped as he got towards the corner, as Keyshawn King was the man pursuing.
I think it was Darius Hester that came up and finally made the hit low on Anderson. Again, you see arm tackles. You're not going to get this guy to the ground with arm tackles, but watch Hester come up, hit him right in the thigh. Boom, that takes him to the ground.
It's a gain of 2 on the play. One thing this Katy offense can do is chew up some clock if they get ahead with their ground game. Anderson on the sweep. He goes head over heels inside the 40, and it'll be 3rd down for the Tigers.
Start to chop Anderson down low. That's where you're vulnerable as a running back, is that thigh area. You see the last couple of plays, they target that area, get him to the ground. Another big 3rd down here for Manvel defensively.
See if the Tigers keep it on the ground. A team that averages more than 500 yards total offense a game, almost 270 a game on the ground. 3rd and 4, could be 2-down territory. It's Rodney Anderson competing for the 1st down. He might be shy, but not by much, maybe half a yard, as he's dropped at the 35.
It's definitely two-down territory, 4th and 1. No doubt Coach Gary Joseph is going to try to pick up the first down, try to keep this drive alive as we go under 7.5 minutes here in the first half.
John Michael Robertson, the tight end, brings the play on for Garrett Doron. Tigers love to play power football. Double tight end formation. Rodney Anderson. And this is going to be close. I think he got it, Ken, but not by much. In fact, it looked like the line judge maybe moved in a little bit, benefiting the Mavericks. We'll see if he got it or not. I'm not so sure now.
Yeah, I think Manvel got a pretty good spot on this play. We'll take a look at it again. He's going to go over the left side.
I thought he got to the 34.
Good defensive penetration. Good stop there. Big number 89 for Manvel. Justin Fisher made the stop. So it's going to be close.
Fisher, one of the top defensive linemen in the area, offered by Texas Tech. Let's see. And the Tigers, by that much, move the sticks again. And the Katy fans has something to celebrate again. They just sweat that one out a little bit, wondering whether or not they were going to turn that ball over on downs. Just the second year in 5A football for the Mavericks. A couple of years ago in the 4A championship game, they lost to Aledo and Jonathan Gray. 12-1 this season. They're in need, though, of a stop. Doron rolling out. Nothing available downfield, so he'll keep, and he's popped hard inside the 30. It's dropped by Victor Green, a senior defensive tackle.
Good coverage downfield this time by Manvel. Doron pulled it out on the bootleg. Nothing there. Tries to pick up some with his yards. Nice run. Picks up 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
Good play indeed, but nothing downfield was there to go to the air. Pickup of 6. Rodney Anderson. Thrown down in the backfield. Colin Scott went up high. There was a Maverick down low. A double team on Rodney Anderson, and that play goes for a loss.
First negative play rushing the football tonight for Manvel defensively. And how many times have we said it here in the second period on this drive in particular? Another big 3rd down.
So the Mavericks have made a couple of plays, but they need to make a few more to get the football back. 3rd and 6. Doron from the gun. Anderson with a head of steam. Look at that surge. Carrying bodies, including Victor Green, for the first down. And that first contact came 2 or 3 yards shy of the marker, and he was able just to push the pile of blue shirts.
There's a phrase for that. Sheer will.
That was some yak.
Yes, sir. Yards after contact.
There's something demoralizing about that because you're there in position and you watch that surge and that will carry for the first down. Fresh set of downs for the Tigers. Doron under pressure, throwing to the boundary. And the pass is complete to Tony Mullins. Boy, I've been impressed with the accuracy of Garrett Doron.
He's a 61% passer on the season. Tony Mullins, his first reception of the night. He's one of their main targets on the outside. Nice little comeback route, close to the sticks.
He's short by a half a yard. Maybe a free play here for the Tigers, and they have chewed up so much time as we're inside 5 minutes now in our first half. This is just the 3rd time Katy's had the football in this game, trying for their 3rd touchdown. Anderson popped out of bounds by Keyshawn King, and we've called his name several times today. Big number 34 from his linebacking position.
You see a replay of this. Watch the target area of the defensive player. As he tracks it down the line of scrimmage, boom, right there, right below the hip. That's where you have to knock him out.
So what was 2nd and maybe half a yard is now 3rd and 2. backfield for the Tigers. Anderson will try and sweep for the first down. He's got more than the first down. Diving for the pylon. He's got a touchdown. Rodney Anderson from 15 yards, and the Tigers are perfect. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns.
Are you kidding me? Toss, sweep, lead blockers, quarterback, chop block, kick out block by the fullback.
If we had replay,
somersault.
I got to see that again. If we had replay, he stepped out at the 2.
Oh my goodness.
Manny Mendoza will add the extra points.
But a great effort nonetheless.
We'll take a peek at that when we have a chance. 4:42 to go in the half. It's now 21-7, the Tigers. We're going to see this again, Ken, and watch when you get to about the 2 and see if maybe Anderson's foot stepped on that white boundary. Just when you thought he turned the corner,
I think he was in. I think he was in. I saw a little green. I think it's a good run. Good
we're going to bring it back.
Camera crew. Great.
We're going to slow this down just to make sure.
Yeah, there's a little green. I think he's okay.
And he's inside the pylon.
Can't take
Great
that
shot.
touchdown away.
No,
you can't take that away.
Even had he been marked out, I don't like the odds of stopping the Tigers on 4 plays from 2 yards out. So just as important as this last sequence was for the Mavericks on offense to get the touchdown, they're in that same spot again, Ken.
Yeah, you have to keep it a 1-score game. 4:42 to go before the break. Imperative that Manvel answers before halftime. Main reason is Katy gets the football to begin the second half.
Haynes and Hemphill, the 2 deep men. Haynes has to run this one down from the 9. Reverses field. Gary Haynes, nowhere to go. Dropped inside the 15-yard line. And boy, Katy continues to execute a special teams tackle made by Kyle Bowling.
You see Haynes, instead of going north and south, he starts going east and west, and you do not want your return guys to go east and west.
So the Mavericks backed up. Good look at Bowling in the middle of your screen. Boy, when you look at the Katy sideline, it's as if the entire community is wearing the white jerseys and the red pants with the number of players they suit up as King is able to surge forward. And talked about Tim Wilkerson, the defensive end, and he has mentioned in recent weeks about how they have a senior scout team. They have so many players, and he feels like they're so prepared that sometimes the practices are more difficult than the games with what they go up against in practice. Quick pass play to Austin Alexis. He'll pick up the first down.
That's absolutely true. When you have a team as deep and as talented as Katy and a talent pool that they pull from those middle schools out in the Katy area, a lot of times your toughest competition is going to be against yourself. That's how they get better.
Low snap. King able to scoop it.
Uh-oh.
King's got some room. De'Eric King didn't wait for his blocker Hemphill. Might have had a few extra, but he's down to the Tiger 46 and really making something out of what could have been a broken play.
Yeah, it's almost like a punt return. When a punt returner fumbles the kick, it kind of throws the defense out of whack. I think that's what happened that time by Katy. They saw the ball on the ground, their eyes got big, and they got outside of their lanes.
King going up top. He's got Haynes! Haynes has a fumble! And it looks like Austin Alexis is on top of it. This is going to be a touchback or a touchdown. And the officials haven't made an indication yet. Haynes is hurt in the end zone. It looks like Austin Alexis had the touchdown, and the Mavericks get the score.
Wow, what a play.
And what a catch by Haynes. And now you're wondering if he's okay.
You thought it was going to get picked. It nearly got picked. Haynes made an unbelievable catch. Then he took a shot at the 2. And it's recovered in the end zone, and we're going to go down to Jay Darnell on the sideline, who had a bird's eye view of what happened on that play. Jay.
Hey, guys, there's no question about it. He got hit. The ball came loose just shy of the goal line. And without question, a Manvel player did jump on it. So the referees here got this 100% correct. Touchdown, Manvel.
Yeah, I agree, Jay. As we saw the replay, it clearly looked like Austin Alexis gets his 4th touchdown of the year. He was there, had the touchdown. Then you see the Katy defender come in late. The longer it took, Ken, for them to unpile, I wondered if they were going to possibly consider giving to the Tigers, but the right call was made, and the extra point just does sneak through. It's good. We've got a game again. Back and forth we go. Twice the Tigers have led by 2 scores. It's a 7-point game. Katy with the lead. They'll get the football back.
Time waits for no one. And those who look only to their past are rarely ready for their future. Never underestimate our ability, because after all, we are Texans.
Our title sponsor is First Community Credit Union. Think first. Also, Joseph K. Holmes. And by Physicians ER. Your emergency room close to home, 24 hours a day. They're our kickoff sponsor. What a game. We expected a great matchup tonight. What a fantastic first half. The Tigers have not been stopped, though. They'll get the football back. And it is a short kick. Take it inside the 20. Returning for the Tigers is Cullen Wilder, and he's dropped right at the 30. And what do these Mavericks have to do defensively to find a way to get the football back and keep the Tigers out of the end zone?
I think they have to do what they've been doing. They put Katy in some 3rd down situations. Now they have to come up with ways to make the big stop to force Katy to punt the football. They've been great on 1st and 2nd down. 3rd down is where they've broken down.
Tigers will go with the inside handoff. The fullback has been doing such a great job of blocking all game long. Kyle Williams get to carry, and he caught everybody by surprise.
Well, that's what Katy will do to you. They will pound you with the running game with the tailbacks on the outside sweeps. Then they'll come back and pop you with a quick dive with a fullback, or they'll go for the play fake, throw backside to a tight end. They have so much in their offensive repertoire, it's really hard to defend them.
15-yard gain on just the 22nd carry this year from another sophomore, Kyle Williams. Talked about a lot of sophomores. Now it's Kyle Porter. Didn't look like he had anywhere to go. Look at Porter stay on his feet. Porter's got the first down and thrown out of bounds at the 41. Even running to the short side of the field with a lot of bodies, he still was able to pick his hole.
Well, that's just great job by the tailback, using his blockers. Look at him, cut back inside, uses the sideline to his advantage, finally tossed out with another first down for the Tigers.
Another sophomore in Kyle Porter. Spelling Rodney Anderson, at least on this drive, and he'll remain in as the featured tailback. You're talking about a sophomore quarterback, a sophomore fullback, and a sophomore tailback in this sequence for Katy. Porter trying to get outside. He was stood up by Jordan Carmouche, who wouldn't let him loose. No gain on the play.
Again, another good first down stop by the Mavericks. Good defensive penetration.
No wonder the Tigers have a senior scout team. All their sophomores are on their first team.
The sophomores have beat them out.
2nd and 10 for Katy. There's Porter, head of steam. And he's dropped at about the 35. It was Deontay Anderson who was the last man to cover him. Marked back at the 36. Victor Green was the first man there on the stop for this Mavericks defense.
Oh, we've been here before, partner. 3rd down and long. Can Manvel come up with a stop?
One man we've not talked a lot about tonight, Coda Martin, one of the better players in this region. He's the defensive tackle, number 91, 6'7", 295 pounds, on his way to Texas A&M. He's not involved here. This is going to be a Katy touchdown. Loganati. There is a marker down at the line of scrimmage, but Loganati, if it stands, will have a second touchdown.
Offside, defense, penalty declined, touchdown is good.
Garrett Doran hit Loganati in stride. What a toss, and the Tigers have scored 4 touchdowns in their 4 drives.
Just a simple post pattern. He beats the corner, no safety on the field. Once he breaks the tackle, it's an easy walk into the end zone. Katy Tigers, 4 possessions, 4 touchdowns.
You talk about a line this good and running backs this good. When you load up to stop that run, every once in a while they go deep, and with an accurate quarterback, it's so tough to stop. 4 drives, 4 touchdowns for Katy. We'll see if the Mavericks can answer. 28-14, Tigers lead.
Football fans, I see a Raising Cane's tailgate in your sights. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but you have it in you to tackle that tailgate. To devour enough fresh, never-ever-frozen chicken fingers and cane sauce to make tailgate history. Show thirst who's boss with sweet tea and lemonade. Not by the cup, but by the jug. Because this is our house. And today, you eat with the best of them. Raising Cane's, one love. Official sponsor of all things that make game day delicious.
See the great turnout from Reliance Stadium tonight. The Katy fans on the far sideline wearing the red. The Manvel Maverick fans on the near side. And of course the cheer squads are here and the bands, and why not? Great night of high school football. This time it's Hemphill. Hemphill tripped up as he went backwards, and it was Bowling again. Back-to-back kickoffs, and it has been Kyle Bowling making open field tackles to frustrate the return men from Manvel.
Well, for Katy, it was a 70-yard drive, took 2:01 off the clock, 30-yard touchdown reception by Logan Odie, and they lead it by 14 points. 1:28 to go here before halftime. Again, Katy will get the football to begin the second half. Imperative that Manvel score on this possession to stay in this ball game.
They'll have to be efficient. Pass play for Austin Alexis. He had the touchdown on the fumble recovery, and he's carried out of bounds after a short gain. You talk about wide receivers and what Manvel had to replace and what a program this is. I mean, Ken, they lost wide receivers last year. Carlos Thompson, Texas Tech. Austin Bennett, Oklahoma. Kyron Parker, Texas A&M. 3 wide receivers to D1 programs. These guys on the field didn't get that much playing time last year.
They're getting a baptism tonight.
De'Ara King trying to create, and he's going to be popped out of bounds after very little.
Really a late hit over here on the near sideline. Officials let it go, but now you're looking at a 3rd and very long situation for Manvel. 54 seconds to go before halftime. The Mavericks with 2 timeouts, Katy with all 3, so if they get the football back, they'll have time to try to put more points on the scoreboard.
Jake Blomstrom made that tackle, second leading tackler on this team, and he will force what is a 3rd and 12 for De'Ara King and the Manvel Mavericks. King with time to throw, waiting for somebody to come open. Finally Haynes did so, but he's shy of the marker and dropped immediately by Colin Wilder, the safety. Strong open field tackle after Haynes made that reception.
Katy takes its first time out of the half.
Ken, as you speak, Gary Joseph reacts, and why not taking that first time out on 4th down to give his offense a chance to get the football back.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You got 44 seconds remaining. You should get pretty good field position. Assuming Manvel punts the football away, no one really open downfield. He had to go to his secondary underneath target, hoping to pick up some yak after the catch. Great play defensively by Katy. Now, Manvel really in a precarious situation. They have to kick the football here on 4th and 7. And you just hope at some point they can stand up defensively to this Katy attack.
Tigers ready to come back on the field after Colin Wilder, another sophomore, made that tackle, forcing this 4th and 6 in a punting situation.
Because if things go Katy's way, by the next time Manvel touches the football, they could be down 42-14.
That's the concern, and this is a very short kick. Katy will not cover it. It will take a neutral bounce and be downed at the 47. One of the linemen downfield, Wesley Laster, touched the football, and the Tigers will get it back. Great field position with 36 seconds to play here in our first half.
Katy on their first 4 possessions of this ball game. A 70-yard drive, 51-yard drive, 77-yard drive, and another 70-yard drive, all end up in the Manvel end zone.
Amazing efficiency. Kyle Porter is the tailback here, and he'll take the pitch sweep. He's going to look to throw. Loganati, he's wide open. Loganati can't run underneath it. They could have had back-to-back touchdowns in consecutive plays, but Kyle Porter led him about 2 yards too far.
A well-designed play. Uddy got behind the safety, pass just a little overthrown. He's 2nd down and 10.
Those are plays you keep in the playbook throughout the course of the regular season, waiting for the right opportunity to call it. Gary Joseph dialed up a beauty, and it just wasn't executed. Jaguars tried that last night. Theirs worked.
Yes, it did.
Very few things haven't worked, though, for the Tigers. 2nd and 10. Little inside handoff and nowhere to go. That was Williams, the fullback, carried for no gain. 3rd down and the clock running.
Yeah, Coach Joseph may just be content here to go into halftime with his 14-point lead.
A few more seconds to tick off, but the Tigers will not stop the clock. They're going to head to the locker room, and why not? The only time they failed to score a touchdown was when they took over the football with 45 seconds to play. So amazing efficiency for the Tigers, who have won 29 straight games. And let's face it, we talked about De'Aaron King coming in to this game. He's been able to keep the Mavericks close with a couple of touchdowns. And we're going to send things down shortly to Jay Darnell. He's going to try and track down Gary Joseph, the Katy coach.
See Coach strolling over to Jay. All right, Jay.
You guys now joined by Coach Gary Joseph. Coach Joseph, Rodney Anderson, 21 carries, 132 yards. Did you expect to use him this much so far?
Yes.
He's a special player. Talk about just his ability in this ball game to transform it.
Well, he better keep going, because obviously we're not out of the wood by any stretch of the imagination, and we've got to do that and then some second half.
And then how do you stop those huge plays from happening defensively, Coach?
You tell me. If I knew, I'd do it.
Coach, appreciate the time here.
Thank you.
Guys, back up to you. That's a tough question there, and he doesn't have an answer, but I guarantee they're going to come up with a good plan over there during halftime.
Well, I liked his honesty. Come up with a few ideas for him, Jay, while you have the time.
He's been watching Greg Popovich NBA halftime interviews.
Great game. First half, Katy leads 28-14.
It's the season to choose at Massey Nissan. Get low Massey prices on the gift your whole family will love. Right now, save big. Pay 0% APR for 60 months on all 2014 Altimas. Plus, get $1,000 bonus cash. But you better hurry. Come to Massey Nissan on the Katy Freeway today.
Massey Nissan.
Best high school football teams in Texas collide inside AT&T Stadium, all vying to be crowned champions. Get your tickets now for the UIL State Championships presented by State Farm. Be a part of this Texas tradition. Log on to Ticketmaster.com. The Wrangler Road to the Championship starts right here on Fox Sports Southwest.
Where we start with two of the best teams in Class 4A.
All season long, Texas has turned to Fox Sports Southwest for wall-to-wall gridiron action.
The crew is in Jasper, Texas tonight.
They would turn it over on downs.
Keep sending in those photos.
The Wrangler Road to the Championship brings you every bit of high school football until this year's champions are crowned. Watch the Wrangler Road to the Championship on Fox Sports Southwest, brought to you in part by Cavenders. If it's high school football, it's on Fox Sports Southwest. We're your home for comprehensive coverage every game night. Get all the Texas high school football scores and highlights from across the state. High School Scoreboard live on Fox Sports Southwest.
Change is inevitable. Time waits for no one. And those who look only to the past are rarely ready for their future. Never underestimate our ability, because after all, we are Texans.
The time is now for live video highlights of your school's march to excellence.
News sets up inside of the pitch. High fly to left. It's up. It's deep. And it's going to be gone.
Legacy Sports Network brings you high-quality HD video broadcasted by the best in the business.
Handoff, Adam Taylor lunges to the end zone, touchdown.
This is one of the most exciting things.
With all the runs, hits, scores, and more, we're building a legacy one game at a time.
I appreciate it, Gerald. You guys at Legacy do an unbelievable job.
Join us on pay-per-view or video live streaming your favorite high school and college athletics at LegacySportsNetwork.com.
Legacy Sports Network is going to be bringing this presentation to your home.
Lieutenant Colonel Tierra Cole. Social Committee members are Historian Secretary Emily Havens, and Spirit leaders are Bria Fuller and Sierra Jackson. Vice President of Majestics is Tierney Nance, and the President is Kayla Washington. Majestic of the Week is Brianna Timbrink. The Spirit Girl of the Week is Alicia Bess.
Our halftime is driven by Massey Nissan. Massey Nissan moves you. What's been moving is the football up and down the field here at Reliance Stadium with Ken Moore. I'm Brett Dolan. 28-14, Katy with the lead at the half, and they have been very efficient to build this 2-touchdown advantage.
Yeah, they had 4 drives in the first half that mattered. All 4 ended up in the end zone. 3 Rodney Anderson touchdowns, also a touchdown completion as well. Manvel looking for answers defensively. They haven't come up with any in the first 24 minutes.
You look at the efficiency of Doran. He is perfect through the air, 5 of 5, 90 yards. King has only had 2 incompletions, 10 of 12. The difference is Rodney Anderson, and of course he was our featured back going into this game. What he's done not only on the ground this year but over the course of his career, there hasn't been any answers, and Manvel doesn't have that equivalent right now.
Yeah, right now 21 carries, 132 yards for Rodney Anderson in the first half. Porter's also been efficient as well. Katy has been tremendous on 3rd down conversions. They have 16 first downs in this first half, nearly 300 yards of total offense. Manvel is definitely going to have to make some adjustments. They may have to go for some strips, try to get some turnovers, put some pressure on the quarterback. They did have a couple of hurries, a big sack in that first half. They're going to have more of the same.
Because Katy gets the football first to start this second half. If they're able to score or they're able to enlarge this lead beyond just a couple of touchdowns, the way they have those 3rd down conversions and chew up yards on the ground in time, it's going to be more difficult for the Mavericks to get back in this one.
Yeah, and one thing that the Mavericks did do great, at the end of the first half, they gave up the ball near midfield, but they were able to keep Katy out of the end zone for their only defensive stop. They have to build on that momentum in the second half.
De'Ara King, I think, has been as advertised, very good, very accurate through the air, trying to get the feet involved. I think Katy has contained him for the most part to keep him from maybe getting 10 or 15 yards on broken plays, and that's what's impressed me most about the Katy defense.
Yeah, they are really spying on King. One thing we talked about in the open is that he's going to have some help offensively. Haynes came up with a couple of big plays. He had the big completion down near the end zone before he got hit and fumbled. Luckily for Manvel, they were able to recover in the end zone, but they're going to have to find some ways to get King open on the ground for him to make some big yards with his legs.
We'll see what happens as far as the Mavericks and King in our second half. We're just about ready for 3rd quarter action. Katy with the lead, 28-14. We'll be back and kick things off in our 3rd quarter in just a moment.
It's the season to choose at Massey Nissan. Get low Massey prices on the gift your whole family will love. Right now, save big. Pay 0% APR for 60 months on all 2014 Altimas. Plus, get $1,000 bonus cash. But you better hurry. Come to Massey Nissan on the Katy Freeway today.
Massey Nissan with you.
The time is now for live video highlights of your school's march to excellence.
New sets up inside of the pitch. High fly to left. It's up. It's deep. And it's going to be gone.
Legacy Sports Network brings you high-quality HD video broadcasted by the best in the business.
Handoff, Adam Taylor lunges to the end zone, touchdown.
This is one of the most exciting things.
With all the runs, hits, scores, and more, we're building a legacy one game at a time.
I appreciate it, Gerald. You guys at Legacy do an unbelievable job.
Join us on pay-per-view or video live streaming your favorite high school and college athletics at legacysportsnetwork.com.
Legacy Sports Network is going to be bringing this presentation to your home.
Indoor football tonight at Reliance Stadium. Can't think of a better night to be indoors.
Temperature's chilly on the outside, but it's a room-controlled temperature on the inside. And Katy has taken full advantage in the first 24 minutes as they lead at 28-14 over a very tough Manvel squad that's looking to find some answers defensively in the second half. They will kick off. Will Manvel? Katy will receive to begin the second half.
Now, whether it's Katy or Manvel, the winner of this game next week knows that they'll be able to play in this building again next Saturday, 4 o'clock. Play the winner of San Antonio Johnson or Cibolo Steel. And what a home field advantage that would be to be able to win tonight and then host this game next week.
That is a very big carrot dangling in front of both of these ball clubs. They would love to have a state semifinal right here in their own backyard in the great city of Houston, Texas. So for 24 minutes, we're going to determine a winner here tonight. Katy has a 14-point advantage to begin this second half.
Mavericks out in full force. Their team's down 2 touchdowns. And the Tigers to get the football to start our third quarter.
The closest game the Katy Tigers played this year was a district matchup against Seven Lakes. They won that ball game 17-12. How did Seven Lakes stay in the ball game? They held Katy to 206 yards of total offense in that battle. Tonight, Katy already has 278 in the first half against Manvel.
The kickoff from Montano. It'll be taken from the 25-yard line. Chance for a big play. Colin Wilder. He's going to go. Touchdown, Katy. No flags. A sophomore, Colin Wilder, returns the second half kickoff, 70 yards.
Well, not exactly what Manvel dialed up at halftime. A short pooch kick backfires, and the sophomore takes it back to the house, and just like that, Katy has a 3-touchdown lead.
Closer to 73 yards for Wilder, getting high fives and congratulations, and why not? Such a long halftime in high school football, and the Mavericks probably talking about what they needed to do in that first couple of sequences or even minutes in our third quarter, and kind of blows up in smoke when Wilder takes the second half kickoff to the house. So Manny Mendoza, the talented kicker, will pop one through from the hold of Garrett Doran, the quarterback. It is good. 10 seconds have elapsed here in our third quarter. And it was that man Wilder with the kickoff return that gets the flag bearers on the field again.
It's definitely going to be a litmus test now for Manvel. As you mentioned, they probably preached the entire halftime about what they wanted to do defensively to slow down this Katy attack. And then you have the opening kickoff, run back 73 yards for a touchdown, really blows up your entire game plan.
Puts even more pressure on De'Aaron King and the Mavericks offense.
You talk about, you can almost feel the energy dissipate here on the home sideline for Manvel. The crowd came out with so much energy in this one, so pumped up for this second half, encouraging their guys. They're really going to need that 12th man of Manvel to help them overcome this 21-point deficit.
So Manvel to get the football, but now down 3 scores, the biggest deficit they have faced. 2 times they had a 2-touchdown deficit, only to get back in the game with a score. And now the task becomes a little more difficult. And the kick is taken from the 27. It is Leonard Owens, wrapped up and dropped across the 35.
Well, now you turn to your talented sophomore, De'Aaron King. Tough to have a youngster in this position, but this is a kid who's accounted for 50 touchdowns on the season. You see them huddled up here on the near sideline, the coaching staff trying to reinforce their values, reinforce what they battled for the entire spring, the entire summer, the entire football season. Now you'll get a chance to see what these Manvel Mavericks are made of.
King through the air in the first half, 10 of 12, 121 yards. He also ran for 51. He'll run here, breaks a tackle, steps out of one of the 45. Into Katy territory, a nice gain down to the 45-yard line. Gain of 18 on the first play. And Ken, I was wondering in the first half if they would run more plays just designed to let him scramble. We didn't see much of that right away. We do in the third.
Yeah, just, again, we kind of talked about it. You have to let him utilize his feet to create some big plays.
King flushed from the pocket, being pursued, throwing on the run, coming back for the football is Haynes. He came so far back, he gave up the first down. He was 6 yards beyond the marker when he caught it. And he gave up the first down, but it'll be second and short.
Yeah, he couldn't stop his momentum. He was coming back so fast for the football. Great play in that aspect, but you have to pump the brakes a little bit.
I don't think I've ever seen that, giving up that many yards. And here's the carry by Clay, and did he get it? He may have been shy. He took that carry so deep behind the line of scrimmage that maybe he didn't get there. We'll talk more about Clay when we have a moment, but it's third and short. The Mavericks will try and go up tempo. Isn't this where you put King under center and let him push forward for half a yard?
He's so dynamic out of the shotgun. I don't mind him being back there. It allows him to see the field.
We've had so many low snaps. He's going to throw here on third and one.
Boy.
Pass was intended for Hemphill. He didn't realize it was coming in his direction.
Hemphill was blocking downfield. Now you really find yourself in a pickle with 4th and 1. Watch Hemphill. He's blocking. He didn't even know it was a pass play. So I don't know if that was a mix-up by the quarterback or a mix-up by the receiver, but we have a big 4th down.
And keep in mind the sequence started when Haynes caught the ball 6 yards beyond the marker and came back. So far, he was a half-yard shy of the first down. Since then, a running play has been short. An incomplete pass on 3rd and inches. Here it's 4th and 1. King's being strung out, and he's able to fight through a tackle, get by Patty Fisher, and pick it up with second effort.
Great job that time by King, showing some patience, not being in a hurry. Watch him here, just a sweep to the right, showing patience, goes behind his big offensive line, picks up the first down. Good kick out block that time by Kyle Tamiz.
Pass play to Manuel. Manuel, an inside bubble screen, inside the red zone. He'll pick up 15 yards and move the sticks. Efficient play from Jamon Manuel, who's now over 40 catches on the season.
Tempo right now for Manvel. They want to keep this Katy defense off balance.
King barking at instructions. Chased. Can he get outside? And he will just fire one to the boundary, but that one did not get back to the line of scrimmage. I got to believe that'll be grounding as Patty Fisher was there, and there comes the marker. It was nowhere near the line of scrimmage where the football has to reach.
Intentional grounding. The path did not make the line of scrimmage. Loss of down. Second down at the spot.
There we have it.
Huge mistake by the young sophomore. And these are some of the things that you'll see manifest. Situations he hasn't been in before, trying to make a big play. You have to get rid of that football past the line of scrimmage. 10-yard loss, now you're in a hole.
Just when they started to gain some rhythm, now it's 2nd and 21. Here comes the rush. That pass is intercepted. Tim Wilkerson with the pick. And one of the more dominating defensive players gets his first INT of the year. And the way the pursuit was coming from Katy, I thought if this pass could have been caught, had a chance for a big play. The big number 95 stuck up his hand.
Well, that's the 19th interception of the season for the Katy defense. First turnover of the night for Manvel, and it couldn't have come at a more critical time.
He's probably watched J.J. Watt play in this building a time or two. He's been known to do that. So Katy now leading by 3 touchdowns. They can really get this ground game moving. Anderson with the bobble had to collect his own mistake. And look at that, after what could have been a negative play, resulted in another gain of 9, right at his season average per carry. Little juggle to start with.
Katy has feasted off of turnovers against the opposition here this season. They have forced 27 turnovers on the year, and that was one of the keys we talked about. Manvel had to win the turnover battle, but right now they're down 1 in the turnover battle, down 21 on the scoreboard.
And they're going to start to see some time milked off this clock. The Tigers can be efficient on the ground. There's the fullback, Kyle Williams. Hasn't carried much, but when he has, he's been more than effective in pulling bodies inside the 34 to the 33. I've been impressed with Kyle Williams, what he brings from carrying the football and what he's done lead blocking for either Anderson or Porter.
That's one of the jobs of the fullback in this Katy attack. You're going to get your share of carries, if you do the job blocking.
Now Porter shifts out in motion. Rodney Anderson with a quick hole. Keyshawn King comes up, but look at all the blue shirts being pushed back. We got a scrum and a gain of 7.
That's just great downhill running by Anderson. Watch when the first man touches, that's 5 yards downfield. He already has a head of steam. He puts that shoulder down. He's got big bodies behind him, pushing him forward for an extra 3 or 4 yards.
How about Grant Sims, the left tackle, 6'3", 225 pounds. He got involved instead of pushing that pile.
Katy team that averages 270 yards per game on the ground.
2nd and short here. Doran with a play fake, nearly ran into a sack. Throwing on the run. That's his first incompletion today, intended for Porter. Pretty good coverage by Deontay Anderson. The first incompletion, and I don't know if Doran sensed that pressure or not coming from the corner.
Again, Shane Jackson, who already has 1 sack on the night, putting the heat on, forcing the incompletion. 3rd and short for Katy.
Maybe felt like they had a free play in 2-down territory, went to the air, could not convert. So now a bit of a pistol formation. And it's Anderson with the Wildcat. Anderson with a corner, stays in bounds. And he's dropped inside the 5 by Anderson, who saved a touchdown for now. Deontay tackling Rodney, but boy, this Wildcat's been effective.
Again, the lead blocker, Porter, has his fullback out in front as well. Stiff arm at the 15, cuts back inside the 10, 1st and goal, Tigers.
So the Tigers are on the march. Keep in mind they've had only 1 drive that hasn't resulted in a touchdown, and that's when they got the football with 44 seconds to go in the first half. Bet you $1 Rodney Anderson carries. He does, right into the end zone for another Katy touchdown.
You need to give me $1,000,000 to 1 odds on that bet.
He has a chance, if Katy wins today and would play into a championship game, maybe to have somewhere in the neighborhood of 42, 43 touchdowns, despite the fact he missed 5 games.
Look at him lower the shoulder as he just runs over Keyshawn King. Wow.
Manny Mendoza's been a busy man. His extra point try is good. Katy's had the football 1 time in the 2nd half. They have 2 touchdowns. Their lead grows to 42-14.
Football teams in Texas collide inside AT&T Stadium, all vying to be crowned champion. Get your tickets now for the UIL State Championships presented by State Farm. Be a part of this Texas tradition. Log on to Ticketmaster.com.
Long live being comfortable in your own saddle. Long live being tough enough to handle anything. Introducing Premium Performance Advanced Comfort Cowboy Cut Jeans. 2 times longer lasting. And made to move with you. So you can move like a champion. New Advanced Comfort from Wrangler. Long live Cowboys.
Our spotlight shines on the best and brightest high school athletes and coaches the state of Texas has to offer. Get the latest highlights and exclusive features from across the state every week. High School Spotlight, Sundays and Mondays on Fox Sports Southwest.
Another Katy kickoff. A long run for Gary Haynes. Over the shoulder catch from the 8. This time he's going to come straight up the field. Now there is a marker down just about where Haynes is tackled. About the 33, but that marker was dropped long before Haynes arrived. So we'll see what the penalty is all about. Our referee again is Kim Gullickson. He's already given us a preliminary indication going against Manvel.
Illegal block below the waist during the return, number 57 of the return team. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, 1st down.
You'd have to say, Ken, special teams have clearly gone in favor of Katy.
Yeah, particularly in this 2nd half. You see the chop block called against Manvel there, but a very rough start to the second half for the Mavericks. They give up a kickoff return to begin the second half, turn the football over themselves, and then watch Katy march 55 yards, 14 quick points by the Tigers. Mavs in a hole.
Pass is complete to Manuel, but popped hard before he gets to the boundary. Picks up 7. Watch this hit at the end of the catch. Manuel had to extend a bit to make the play. Got drilled pretty good by Josh Blair. We're not even halfway through our third quarter. Plenty of time. King just lost the handle on the football. Now running for his life, showing off the wheels. This is where De'Aaron King is dangerous. King with a block. King's going to cut back, and he's dropped at about the 31. Almost 43 yards on the play.
Yeah, 43 exactly. You see King drop it. That's about the second time tonight we've seen that happen. And then he's able to make a big play as he gets Katy out of their defensive lanes. Picks up a huge first down for Manvel.
King with those feet moving in the pocket. His pass was dropped. He threw it really in the only spot where he could towards Haynes, low, but he just couldn't hold on.
Good throw to put it where only his receiver could catch the football. We saw Haynes take that big shot early in the ball game. Good to see him back on the field.
Jacoby Perrell carries for a couple of yards.
We talk a lot about the disparity in the running game for Manvel. Derek Keaton, the quarterback, leads the team with 1,145 yards. The next closest rusher to him is Jacoby Perrell with 465.
Here comes the rush. King, right down the seam, inside the 5, and he's dropped at the 3-yard line. It was Travis Willick who saved a tackle, or a touchdown with the tackle, but once he got through the line, Ken, there's nothing but green ahead of him.
But it's man-to-man coverage on the outside for Katy. Now he's looking for a block from Haynes, but Haynes is watching him run.
Football's loose. No. The Tigers say they have it. The Tigers do have it. They're at the bottom of the pile, I believe, is Tanner Ebright.
Well, apparently there was a quarterback center exchange issue.
And Tanner Ebright, the senior, came up with the football. When it looked like the Mavericks were going to capitalize and get right back in this game, they fumbled the football at the 2, so they gave up the 73-yard kickoff return to start the second half, and that equally is painful for the Manvel team and their fans.
2 possessions, 2 turnovers in this second half. And that's just like writing your own obituary against the Katy Tigers.
And you've dared the Tigers to see if they can go 98 yards, and Rodney Anderson carries to about the 11 on the first play. The chase for 8. It is a rallying cry, so to speak, for the Katy Tigers. Last year, 16-0. They won their 7th state championship. Can they make it 8? And they're about a quarter and a half away from advancing to the state semifinals.
We've seen a tremendous effort here tonight, particularly in this second half. Coach Gary Joseph said they would have to play better the final 24 minutes. So whatever he said at halftime got him riled up, and here comes Rodney Anderson one more time.
Rumbling across the 30, he went airborne over Deontay Anderson. Those two have become quite friendly over the course of this game because Deontay Anderson is the last line of defense from his safety position.
2 kick-out blocks, the right tackle and the fullback. And then it's just easy pickings for Anderson, rumbling through the secondary. So they may be well on their way to a 98-yard punctuating drive as we go under 450 in the third period.
Last week against Elkins, Anderson went 16 carries for 161. He found the end zone 5 times. Fullback with a carry up across the 40. The game before that against Cy Wood, so keep in mind, Cy Wood scored first in that game. They led 7-0 before Katy ran off 51 unanswered. Anderson went for 236 and 4 touchdowns. So we've talked about what King has done, 18 touchdowns in his last 3 games. Anderson had 9 in his last 2.
Yeah, he has been outstanding. He has a nose for the goal line. We saw that on that somersault as he dove toward the pylon early in the ball game to pick up one of his 4 touchdowns. Just tremendous.
And I do like this play, giving him that football on the pitch coming straight forward. He's at the marker and maybe just beyond for what could be another Katy first down. In the first half, Katy had 16 first downs to 7 for Manvel. And if they go 98 yards, boy, they're going to jump that total up significantly.
Manvel, they had a shootout a couple of weeks ago in the area round against Fort Bend Bush. They escaped that battle 51-44.
That would have been a game.
That was a game. I'm not sure where they're going to find 51 points here tonight.
Garrett Doron will scramble and picks up a couple of yards. He was dropped in the pursuit by Jordan Carmouche, sophomore linebacker. Think about Rodney Anderson, and of course on his way to Texas A&M, very easily Johnny Manziel could declare for the NFL draft, and who knows, that might mean a greater emphasis on the running game, and be fun to see if he can make an impact quickly there in College Station.
I think he has all the tools to be a great one. He has great size, great strength, great nose for the end zone. See him here again in the open field. See Manvel starting to get a little worn down defensive.
Watch the reaction from Deontay Anderson, number 1, after he makes the tackle.
Yeah, well, Deontay Anderson has had to come up from the secondary too many times to make the hit, but watch him kind of drop his head like, I'm getting worn out here.
My thoughts exactly. You know, it's that body language. But again, this is what Katy wants to do: execute, get a lead, and then just run the football down your throat. This time it's Porter. The quarterback lead blocking, and Porter rumbles for 13 more. Talk about power football when you involve a fullback and your quarterback lead blocking.
Two-headed attack. Anderson, give him a breather. You bring in the super sophomore Porter, and he rumbles
Manvel has taken its first timeout of the second half.
So Manvel burns a timeout, maybe if nothing else, just to rest their defense and talk things over. A score here would really make things difficult. Tigers on the move. We'll see if they score when you come back.
It's the season to choose at Massey Nissan. Get low Massey prices on the gift your whole family will love. Right now, save big. Pay 0% APR for 60 months on all 2014 Altimas. Plus, get $1,000 bonus cash. But you better hurry. Come to Massey Nissan on the Katy Freeway today.
Massey Nissan with you.
Our game is brought to you by First Community Credit Union. Think First, our title sponsor. By Joseph K. Holmes with Sarah Atchison. List, stage, buy, decorate. After that timeout, it's a 1st and 10 for the Katy Tigers. Porter showing off that footwork, staying on his feet, and picks up another 16 yards. When they start churning up chunks of 15, 13, 16 yards, it becomes demoralizing for the Mavericks.
Well, Coach Martin, after that timeout, changed his defensive alignment somewhat. He has 4 down linemen, 4 linebackers in to try to contain this Katy running game. Didn't matter.
Starting to bleed that clock here in our 3rd quarter.
They essentially have 9 men in the box right now, and here comes a flag.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 76, offense. 5-yard penalty, Still first down.
Luke Spies, the junior, called out for that infraction, one of the few we've had in this game, relatively clean game. Well, the Tigers, if this drive is successful, we're going to go 98 yards. 98 with an asterisk.
As you predicted.
Yes. So it's 1st and 15. Kyle Porter is the tailback in this I formation, with Anderson now shifting out in motion. So Anderson will be the lead blocker. Kyle Porter to the corner. Kyle Porter to the 5. Lunging for the pylon. They're going to give him the touchdown. They do go 98 yards.
Well, he saw what Rodney Anderson did in the first half. He wanted to make sure he got his lunge at the pylon. Let's see if he steps out of bounds.
See if that knee goes down.
It's close.
Very close.
He gets the benefit of the doubt. 20-yard scamper. So Porter gets into the end zone.
Began the day with 20 touchdowns on the season, keeping Manny Mendoza, the kicker, very busy, and the Tigers 1 point away from hanging 50 on the Mavericks. 49-14. What a busy third quarter. Game brought to you in part by Katy Hardware and by Physicians ER, your emergency room close to home, 24 hours a day. And by Massey Nissan. Drive better for less.
That was a 98-yard drive. Took 4 minutes, 5 seconds off the clock. 20-yard scamper by Kyle Porter as he barely nips the pylon. As Katy goes up 49-14. They've shut out Manvel in this third period. 21-zip. It all started with the opening kickoff, 73 yards by Colin Wilder. That set the tone. Manvel with 2 possessions, 2 turnovers here in the third period.
Mavericks probably can't wait for this third quarter to be over. Take their cracks in the fourth, still $1:33 remaining. Short kick. Owens going to give up some yards to try and get to the corner. He gets those yards back and a few more. Owens drug down out of bounds, and boy, that's awfully close to being a penalty. Nothing called on the pursuit and the tackle out of bounds by Giovanni Stewart.
Yeah, the officials tonight have been very forgiving on those sideline hits. A couple of times tonight we thought we might see a penalty.
Well, he hits him inbounds, but that's about 5 yards out of bounds before he drug him down, but probably best just to play on. Coach Martin has done a fantastic job building this program. His son, one of the best players in the state, is a defensive lineman, maybe a tight end from time to time, but it has not been a lot of fun tonight. Talk about D1 prospects this Manvel team has turned out in recent years. Katy has a few of their own. Wilkerson had the INT on the previous play, and the man being recruited by Washington State shows why maybe a few more teams should be interested. Great speed.
6'2", 215. Watch him run down the tailback from behind. Are you kidding me? Wow.
Man he tackled was Clay, a junior, who got injured in the game you guys broadcast earlier this year against North Shore. And Ken, it was a scary situation. He had a rib issue. He went to the hospital and was diagnosed with a tiny hole in the cartilage between his ribs next to his heart cavity. Had to miss several weeks. He's been back now here in recent games playing football and glad to be back. But he was tackled for a loss, and there was a short pass play going for basically nothing.
Yeah, I recalled him being taken off on a stretcher in that ball game. A very scary sight. Tremendous to see him back in action.
That's not him again, is it?
Let's see from here.
Looks like that might be Manuel.
Pero? I think it's Pero 6.
Finished my thought though on Clay. He wondered if he'd ever play football again. The heart was bruised and swollen. He was found to have an enlarged heart because of that injury in that North Shore game. They diagnosed it eventually as athlete's heart with rest. He was able to kind of retreat maybe to its regular normal size, and he was able to play football again. But he was supposed to be their featured running back this year. So you talk about the disparity between King and everybody else from a running standpoint. That's where they've missed Clay the most.
Yeah, absolutely. Only 2 touchdowns on the year for Clay, 1 receiving, 1 rushing the football. And fortunately for him, he's okay. He's able to put the pads back on again. But it really took something away from that Manvel offense, even though they had obviously a tremendous year going 12-1. A night like tonight is where you would really like to feature him as a counterback to King.
And Jacoby Perro has been kind of their #1 guy. You see him getting up slowly and walking off under his own power. With the 8 touchdowns he scored this year, he caught that last football but ended up getting no gain, so it's 3rd and 12. Maybe one more play, a couple more plays here in our 3rd quarter. De'Ara King with time to throw. He's going to dial up the long ball intended for Reggie Hemphill. Beyond his reach, it'll be 4th down.
Yeah, Hemphill double covered on that play. Great coverage in the secondary. Giovanni Stewart, another great sophomore for Katy. And we talked about all these sophomores for the Tigers. I mean, they just keep reloading and reloading, and you wonder if they'll ever have an off year, and it just never happens.
I wouldn't want to bet on it. King will shank one away on 4th down. Nobody back for Katy. This one's going to continue to roll, angle towards the sideline, and step out of bounds at about the 12. So a good kick from De'Ara King. But it's a moral victory of sorts because they'll give the football back to Katy with 3 seconds to play here in our 3rd quarter. So the Tigers trying to win their 30th consecutive game. Speaking to your point, Ken, of just continuing each and every year to put up a team that can contend for a state championship.
Yeah, 29-0 over the past 2 seasons. They have a couple of more to go before they can post back-to-back championships.
So Kyle Porter will carry here, and you wonder if we'll see a lot of Porter in what'll be the 4th quarter. That is our final play in the 3rd. It belonged all to the Katy Tigers.
Of the 3rd quarter.
Into the 3rd. Bring us to the 4th. See what we can take our cracks against the Tigers. But Katy leads 49-14.
It's the season to choose at Massey Nissan. Get low Massey prices on the gift your whole family will love. Right now, save big. Pay 0% APR for 60 months on all 2014 Altimas. Plus, get $1,000 bonus cash. But you better hurry. Come to Massey Nissan on the Katy Freeway today.
Massey Nissan with you.
Change is inevitable. Time waits for no one. And those who look only to their past are rarely ready for their future. Never underestimate our ability, because after all, we are Texas.
2nd and 8 running play. Justin Fisher wrapped up Kyle Porter and threw him down, but not before. He'll carry for another 1st down. Even before that play, Ken, the Tigers had run for 347 yards in 3 quarters, so now up over 350 as we go into the 4th.
Yeah, they have been unstoppable tonight offensively, have the Katy Tigers, but they've been that way the entire season, save for that one game against Seven Lakes, where they held them to about 200 yards of total offense. But they have really put it on Manvel here tonight.
The fullback Williams, battering ram, moving forward to about the 29.
You know, Manvel Manvel really played well that first half offensively. 189 total yards of offense. They protected the football, stayed in the ball game, made some big plays. It looks like Katy would break away. Manvel would come back with some big plays. 28-14 at the break, but the Tigers just exploded in that third period. 2 Manvel turnovers, a kickoff return for a touchdown, and Katy has opened it up.
Rodney Anderson tackled by Deontay Anderson again. 15-yard pickup, another Tigers first down.
You know, and you look at the stats right now in this ball game. Total yardage, Katy 443, but Manvel 312. 162 through the air, 162 on the ground, 150 through the air. So they've moved the ball, but critical mistakes and critical turnovers has allowed Katy to expand the lead.
Keep in mind, one of their touchdowns was when they fumbled at the 2 and the ball propelled into the end zone. As Rodney Anderson chopped down after another gain of 11. Of course, on their drive in the third quarter, they got down to the 2-yard line when they fumbled. That time they weren't so fortunate to cover. And Rodney Anderson is down. And
oh boy.
Back in that third quarter, Ken, I asked you when Porter carried to end the third if we might see a lot more of him in the fourth and maybe not so much Anderson. Anderson right back out there, continuing what he's done throughout the game, but now he's down. And well, let's hope he's okay for the Tigers.
Well, look, he missed 5 or 6 games in the regular season. That allowed the development of Kyle Porter as Anderson gets up and walks off the field. That's a great sight for everyone, especially on the far sideline in red, to see him walk off the field. But that enabled the sophomore Kyle Porter to really take control of that tailback position, and he was actually the leading ground gainer for Katy this season. But you saw the impact of Rodney Anderson in this game, the previous 2 ball games. He is the leader of that offense.
Looked to be okay, so to speak, onto the sideline, kind of shaking off the sting of that tackle. Be surprised, though, if we see him in the remainder of this game, 10 minutes plus. So it's Kyle Porter. Carries to about the 46. A little different day around this building here at Reliance Stadium than in previous weeks or years, for that matter. Gary Kubiak relieved of his duties this morning with the Houston Texans after a loss last night to Jacksonville. So a little different feel around this building, and it's great to have the emotion and the spectacle of high school football here tonight.
Yeah, very busy day at Reliance Stadium here tonight. Of course, the disappointing loss of the Texans last night, the abrupt press conference earlier today. Owner Bob McNair announcing the dismissal of Gary Kubiak. 8 years here, roaming the sidelines as the Texans head coach. Of course, he had that scary situation on the Sunday night game against the Colts where he suffered the mini stroke. And despite the failures of the football team, many fans in Houston hope Gary well, a native Houstonian, played his football here at St. Pius High School. We wish him the best down the line.
Yeah, true gentleman. It certainly didn't work out this year with 11 straight losses, but wish him the best going forward. Meanwhile, what Gary Joseph and the Tigers have built in this program has been more than admirable. It has been amazing, and they continue now to run out some clock and some time, leading 49-14. Porter fights inside the 30.
Now, question is, since we're here at Reliant, do you think Coach Gary Joseph might slip his resume under the door of Rick Smits here before he leaves the stadium here tonight and maybe apply for the head coaching position himself? He's had a great run here in high school football here in the Houston area.
What he has produced, you're right, has been amazing. It's just the efficiency with which they operate. And they're going up against a very good team in Manvel. And now we're seeing a little bit of the depth chart. Trent Finley, a senior fullback with the carry. And what we may not see is any more of Rodney Anderson. And Ken, if our numbers are accurate, what he did tonight was 32 carries, 231 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Not bad for a night's work.
3 quarters work. Not even that when you consider Porter came in for a few of those drives, but 32 carries, busy day. 3rd and short here for the Tigers. Porter able to cut back and drag King for a few extra. Inside the 25. Will Lockett finally cleaned up, but the sticks move again.
And for Manvel, nothing to hang their heads about. Of course, they'll be disappointed with the loss and the way they lost. But from where they've come from, a team that was 5-5 in 2009, methodically worked their way up to a state championship appearance just 2 years ago in Class 4A. Bumped up to 5A last year, lost in the regional semifinal. Took another step this year to the regional final. They hope to continue to build that tradition down in Manvel to hopefully get themselves to the level that the Katy Tigers already are.
What Kyle Porter's dangerous running backwards. He ran backwards the last 6 yards. We're going to see this again. I don't know if there was some miscommunication, but watch him get turned around right about here. Doesn't matter. Just keep.
Reminds me of one of those Bump Phillips quotes about Earl Campbell in training camp, where somebody, I think the running back coach Earl's rookie year, said, you know, in agility drills where Earl has a problem running backwards. Bump said, well, I don't ever expect him to run backwards in a game. As long as he can run forward, he should be fine.
To Gary Joseph, one of the few smiles tonight, congratulating his team and his offensive line for the effort, and oftentimes they do not get the full amount of respect or credit, but they deserve it with what they've done, paving the holes for Porter, Anderson, and company tonight.
One of the few times you'll see Gary Joseph actually smile during the course of the game. I mean, he's straight business, usually for 48 minutes, but he's allowing some of those players down the depth chart to get some action, get an opportunity to punch this one in.
When you think about it, 30 straight wins with a victory tonight. A lot of teams in the Dallas area not able to play tomorrow because of the ice and the snow, so those games get pushed back to Monday, meaning a short week then for the winner next week. By playing this game tonight, Gary knows that, of course, they'll advance. They'll be able to play at this stadium next week on time, on schedule, and a coach just loves that as well as far as a game plan standpoint.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely advantage Katy there in that aspect. Of course, they'll be looking at those San Antonio schools that'll be battling tomorrow.
Of course, Katy beat Cibolo Steel last year in Waco at Floyd Casey Stadium to advance to the state championship game. We're going to get down the depth chart a little bit further.
B.J. Brooks, 5'7", 175-pound junior tailback. He's appeared in 7 ball games so far this season. Averages about 5.5 yards a carry. He's been in the end zone 3 times this year.
He had a nice game in that playoff win against Cy Woods. Carried 9 times, 54 yards and a touchdown. He'll carry again here. The blocking set up for him to get inside the 10 where he stuck up and dropped. If indeed Porter is done for the night, and it looks like he maybe can, he ran 15 times for 124 yards in a touchdown.
Well, Katy has over 400 yards rushing the football right now, 415 to be exact, against a team that went 12-1.
Kylie Huddleston, the senior quarterback, is in there now running the offense.
This is a drive that began back at the 12 at the end of the 3rd period.
Brooks diving inside the 5. He lost the football. It's picked up by Deontay Anderson.
You're going to call him down?
Looks like that might be the case.
It's close.
Take another look.
There, Brooks. Again, the counter. Breaks it to the open field. Yeah,
he was down.
Calls the fumble.
He was down.
So he picks up the first down. It'll be 1st and goal from the 3 for Katy. They've held the ball the entire 4th period.
Now the clock clock will wind as Kylie Huddleston will come back from the sideline with the play. Brooks to the goal line, to the end zone. Touchdown, Katy. Again, they've surpassed the 50-point plateau.
Brooks, his 4th touchdown of the season. Katy fans celebrate as they make plans for the state semifinals next weekend right here at Reliance Stadium.
And the kick is true. It's been all Katy in the second half. 56-14 Tigers.
I see a Raising Cane's tailgate in your sights, and I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but you have it in you to tackle that tailgate. To devour enough fresh, never-ever frozen chicken fingers and cane sauce to make tailgate history. Show thirst who's boss with sweet tea and lemonade. Not by the cup, but by the jug. Because this is our house, and today, you eat with the best of them. Raising Cane's, one love. Official sponsor of all things that make game day delicious.
It's the season to choose at Massey Nissan. Get low Massey prices on the gift your whole family will love. Right now, save big. Pay 0% APR for 60 months on all 2014 Altimas. Plus, get $1,000 bonus cash. But you better hurry. Come to Massey Nissan on the Katy Freeway today.
Massey Nissan with you.
You think the special teams have worked in Katy's favor? The backup kicker, Chandler Zimmerman, sees that football kick loose, and Jason Dumas jumps on top of it for the Tigers.
Well, not a second half to write home about for the Manvel Mavericks, as their defense has to come right back on the field. Offense has not seen the field since the end of the 3rd period. And that kickoff coughed up. Katy takes over. Manvel 30, up by 42. So 3 second half turnovers by the Mavericks have sealed their fate.
So the Tigers will go basic here. Trent Finley, senior fullback, with another carry. And they'll probably chew up as much of the play clock between sequences as possible. One thing when you're the Katy team, Ken, you play 16 games. It is really an endurance test. That is an NFL-type schedule if you play in the championship game. Having said that, with the domination they have in the regular season, by the 3rd and 4th quarters, they can play a lot of guys and maybe allow those starters to play 2.5, 3 quarters.
Yeah, absolutely. And the amount of rest that their players get throughout the season by being able to divvy up the snaps allows them to continue their dominance going deep into football games.
Brooks, who scored on the previous drive, will carry again and move the sticks. He moves it inside the Mavericks red zone to the 19 as we're inside 4 minutes to play in our 4th quarter. Brooks will carry again. He ran into Dakota Martin, the coach's kid, and you're talking about one of the best players in the state, on his way to Texas A&M, and what a great frame, 6'7", 295 pounds. Still playing hard this late in the game, and he's going to be a good one at the D1 level.
Oh yeah, absolutely. A lot of D1 talent on this football field here tonight on both sides of the ball. And both of these teams have been well represented the past couple of years. Guys being able to go on to the next level. And you have that pipeline streaming from the the lower levels. That allows both of these programs to continuously reload.
2nd and 8. It's Brooks again. That pile will surge shy of the 10. You go back last year at signing day, and what I remember about Manvel was just this endless stream of D1 players. I don't know the number, 7, 8. I mean, it was a huge number of players, and the college recruiters just finding their way to the school to take one or another away, and even including their quarterback. We haven't mentioned today, Shane McCarley, who went to Old Dominion, who had a fantastic high school career. All those wide receivers we did mention.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, you know, as we talked about, Coach Kirk Martin really building a dynasty down there. Of course, they're battling with the Pearland schools for a lot of that talent.
When you consider the Oilers still alive, Pearland Dawson still alive in 4A, you're talking about 3 teams still playing this deep in the year. Coach Martin said a couple of weeks ago that his team expected to be playing when our cheerleaders can wear those Santa Claus hats.
There you go. There you go. They nearly made it.
Pretty close.
Open the roof, they would have to put on Santa Claus gear
no,
tonight.
Sir. We're going to keep it closed. Katy's able to run this into the end zone. They'll pass 450 yards rushing and pass the 60-point plateau. They're going to go basic, I have a feeling here. Brooks to the 3. It'll be 2nd down and goal, and we'll be inside a minute before they have to snap again.
Yeah, and Coach Joseph may just have them take a knee and run this one out.
56-14, Katy with the lead. Keep in mind at the half it was 28-14. It's been all Tigers in the 2nd half.
Manvel, their first taste of Reliance Stadium action. Not what they expected, but they will learn from it. They will be better next season for it.
Victory formation, sort of. That's why you have the victory formation. Brought in the 3rd string quarterback to take a knee, and he nearly took a seat. That's Carson Lance. That'll knock off a couple of yards of the running total. And
yeah, this will make the not top 10.
Hey, he was able to stay on his feet. You're talking about running backwards. You need a little help.
That'll do it.
Final seconds will tick away here at Reliance Stadium, and the teams will head for midfield. And the high fives and handshakes, to say the least. Our game has gone final. Katy wins 56-14. 446 yards rushing tonight for the Katy Tigers. And it was an efficient, effective show from the Tigers.
Yeah, they had a scare in the first half. Manvel staying alive, a couple of big plays, keep it close at halftime, 28-14. But whatever Coach Gary Joseph said at halftime was the difference as they blitzed the Mavericks 28-zip in the 2nd half.
Mavericks may have felt like it was going to be an uphill climb in the 2nd half, but boy, that kickoff return though, Ken, 73 yards to start our 3rd quarter. Wasn't a backbreaker, but it took a lot of the air out of the sails.
Yeah, that took a lot of air out of the sails. And then a couple of turnovers after that really doomed the fate of the Manvel Mavericks.
56-14, Katy wins. Back to Reliance Stadium right after this.
Change is inevitable. Time waits for no one. And those who look only to the past are rarely ready for their future. Never underestimate our ability
school football teams in Texas collide inside AT&T Stadium, all vying to be crowned champion. Get your tickets now for the UIL State Championships presented by State Farm. Be a part of this Texas tradition. Log on to Ticketmaster.com. The Wrangler Road to the Championship starts right here on Fox Sports Southwest.
Where we start with two of the best teams in Class 4A.
All season long, Texas has turned to Fox Sports Southwest for wall-to-wall gridiron action.
The crew is in Jasper, Texas tonight.
They would turn it over on downs.
Keep sending in those photos.
The Wrangler Road to the Championship brings you every bit of high school football until this year's champions are crowned. Watch the Wrangler Road to the Championship on Fox Sports Southwest. Brought to you in part by Cavenders. If it's high school football, it's on Fox Sports Southwest. We're your home for comprehensive coverage every game night. Get all the Texas high school football scores and highlights from across the state. High School Scoreboard live on Fox Sports Southwest.
56-14, Katy wins over Manvel. Again, I'm Brett Dolan with Ken Moore. After watching that Katy running game today, you wanted to get the football and get a few carries to see what you could do.
I did. I wanted to see if I still had a little left in the tank. I don't think so, though, against those big boys from Manvel.
Well, Rodney Anderson, 32 carries, 231 yards. He scored 4 times. Porter added a touchdown. He ran for 125. Nearly 450 total yards, and while Doran was effective when he needed to be through the air, that running game was dominant.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Over 500 yards of total offense for Katy tonight. This is a team that really used to mix it up, throwing and running the football. They've turned really into a predominantly running the football team, and in the second half, it was all about the big plays and the turnovers. The big kickoff return to start the second half really opened the game up, and then 3 Manvel turnovers in that third and fourth quarter really sealed their fate.
Yeah, including a fumble at the 2-yard line when it looked like they were going in for a score to try and keep things close in the third quarter. And what Katy was able to do with that running game was keep De'Aaron King off the field in the second half, eating up 5, 6, 7 minutes.
We didn't even see King in the fourth quarter because Katy held the football for the entire fourth quarter. They had a 7.5-minute yard drive to begin the quarter, then a fumble kickoff after that. Katy eats up the final 4.5 minutes. We didn't even see King.
Yeah, say that again. The entire fourth
quarter, Katy held the football.
Well,
there you go.
The Tigers will be back at this building, Reliance Stadium, next Saturday to play a team from San Antonio. Then for the right, if they win, to go to the state championship game. How good are they? Can they win another one?
Well, they're 30-0 in their last 30 games.
That works.
I think they're pretty darn good. So they're 2 wins away from back-to-back state championships. We'll see if they can pull it off.
Great season for Manvel. I know this will be very disappointing tonight. Certainly they'll be back, but we'll see Katy again very soon.
Yeah, we will. Next week, partner.
For Ken Moore, I'm Brett Dolan. 56-14, the Katy Tigers with the win. For our entire Legacy Sportsnet crew, good night, everyone.